But yeah, put your points on it. But bloody fired up for this, mate. It's going to be good. And before we get underway, mate, we'll have a look at the grid, mate, for tonight's race. It's a couple of reserves tonight. A couple of new reserves racing tonight.
There is in the Mercedes. My graphic has gone away, but I'll get it back. In the Mercedes, we have Brad Tate and Boss Gohan. If that is not one of the greatest gaming names ever, I'll go on heat. In the Red Bull, we have VSR Roscoe Arm alongside 2-5. The Alpine, we have Darkness Abyss, Suicide 5. In the Aston Martin, we have Flourish Expire, Tab Def 1. In the Haas, we have Nat Hammer and the Kraken. In the Williams there, we have M Stone and the Stig. Alfa Romeo, we have Fury Strat, Kyotonic. Alpha Tauri, we have Absolute and Milligains. In the McLaren, we have Nick Magoo and Elsa Aldoni. And in the Ferrari, we have Dino 420 Fam and TJS F1.
Yeah, I think that TJS has got a bit of speed, mate. So can Ferrari go back-to-back, mate? Back-to-back wins. Who knows? They won last night. They might win tonight. Anyone could win. That's the nature of racing. And we'll have a quick look at the standings, mate, before we get some on-track action. And guess what? That's not updated because I'm a pretty bit of a pleb, mate, with the old Graficanos here. So let's update that. And then there you go. Milligan's on top by 99 points ahead of Dino 420 Fam. And then Kraken just another 2 points behind him.
Yeah, we have mentioned here that Milligains is well out in front and probably going to get the job done at the end of the day. He can, if I'm not mistaken, he can close out the championship tonight with that.
No, not quite.
Has. No,
because there's still six rounds after this. There's a lot of rounds to go. And obviously 30 points on off each week, mate. So he's going to need a bit of a... he's going to need a few more wins to clinch it.
F1 standings there.
Yeah, there's the... it's easy to forget.
Yeah.
But 30 points plus 1 for fastest lap. So plenty of points on offer to go, mate. But here we go. We're into the sesh, mate. And
we'll TJ is the first man on track, and I absolutely know zero about Imola. So you'll have to run us through his first lap, mate.
I'd love to, mate. I'll show you the ropes, mate. I'll show you what it's all about here. In near San Marino, in the more central part of Italy. It's a small little village, this part of Italy. Just a quiet town with an F1 circuit or a racing circuit bolted in the middle, mate. And you can see some of those houses just adjacent to the track as we're coming.
Crowd.
A massive crowd, mate. But coming out of Ravazza, the final corner. Here he goes. So starts the lap. He opens the DRS. Taking a short line across the pit wall, mate, hugging that nice and tight just to minimise the distance, and then coming down through the curve at turn 1 to the braking zone of turn number 2. This is the Tamburello chicane, turn 2 and 3. Just flick it over those curbs, maximise the minimum speed, and then we're already out, coming down towards the next chicane, the Villeneuve chicane, Moosey. And then we come through here flying. It's 5th gear, the slowest gear through there. The driver's absolutely sending it through there in qualifying. And then the slowest corner on the circuit is Toza, turn 6. He navigated that nicely, kept the minimum speed up, and got a great exit coming up the hill towards Piratella here, mate. Turn 9, where Lando Norris invalidated that amazing lap time, if you remember, in Q3 earlier this year in the real-life Formula 1. Down into Aqua Minerale. Very careful here on the exit. You can lose the rear end as the car gets light as you rise up back over the hill. And then coming towards the Variante Alta, or the Alta chicane.
Ooh,
taking a whole lot of curb. You've got to do it, but he just took a little bit too much liberties there with the curbage, and he has invalidated that lap, unfortunately. So we'll flick back to Tab, mate, who's coming through that Variante Alta right now. Not quite as much curve of him, and he's invalidated on the exit, mate. Very easy to do as well. Yeah. So we'll flick back to the Stig, mate. Here's the next one, and he's actually run wide there at the Alta, but he's kept it valid as he's coming down towards the final 2 corners at Ravazza. Ravazza 1 and Ravazza 2. Kind of like the Lesmos, mate. Just one. They used to be one corner, I believe, but now there's 2 corners with the changes of the circuit. He comes across the line and he sets a 1:16.2 to kick things off. And I think pole time last night was a 15.7, Moosey. So we're already pretty close to that.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And we got there eventually as we're dipping into the 15s now. Yeah, we got there eventually with a driver, mate. Worth mentioning, though, this looks like a very, very narrow track. Is
in
overtaking
parts.
going to be an issue here?
No, the DRS is. It's like you've got a Lewis Hamilton illegal rear wing, mate. It's extremely powerful down that main straight. It's a bit bonkers, if I'm honest.
Mate, you
but
Max
yeah,
supporters.
if you're within 0.6 of a second, it's almost a no-brainer down towards the Tamburello chicane. So it provides some good racing spectacle, and seeing two cars go through there side by side is pretty interesting. We're picking up TJS where he invalidated on the last account through the Alta, and he's kept it valid. So here we go.
Yeah, second race here in Italy for the season. Of course, Monza being the other one. The Forza Ferrari, the Trofisi will be here willing these Ferrari drivers on. TJ comes across the line and goes a 1:15.8. And mate, I'll be honest, I think he might have just let off the accelerator a little bit there on the line.
Maybe he left off a little bit too early, mate. He's just a little bit too eager to start saving that fuel to get back to the pit lane. Who are we picking up now? It definitely won't be Nick Magoo. He's still on the in-lap. So I think it's his teammate Donny, mate, coming across the line. It is. And I think that was invalid, mate. So he's about to go again. Why don't we watch this whole lap with Donny, mate? Give him a bit of the airtime. Our lovely driver in the McLaren.
The Papaya McLaren.
It's a nice helmet he's sporting as well, mate. The black, the yellow, and the red. Bit of a chrome finish.
It's a little bit sexual.
It stands out in these sort of low light conditions with the cloud cover. But yeah, so last time we were in Italy at Monza, it was Tactical Genius, mate, who came away with the win after penalties were applied. It was tabbed on the circuit just to jog your memory. So no Tactical Genius tonight, so we'll see if Tabbed can claim that elusive win, which he lost, unfortunately, due to penalties in Monza in the same country, or will it be someone else, one of the other 19 drivers tonight? And Kraken's on fine form as well, mate. He's had the last 2 race victories, so can he make it a hat-trick tonight?
Yeah, he'd definitely be looking to. Just on board here with Donny, and he's trying to navigate that Sector 3 here. He's just got 2 corners to go before he sets his first lap time of this session.
Easy to invalidate down here, mate, because both in the middle of the first and the second part of the final complex and on the exit of the final corner, quite easy to wash wide and just seeking a little bit too much apex speed, and it would invalidate you for the current lap and the next lap. So you've got to be careful in that part of the circuit. Here comes Nick Magoo, and he goes up to P1, mate, 15.7. So the McLarens might be looking a little bit speedy tonight as Brad Tay, he drops into the 15s as well. And I think Tab's invalidated another lap, he has. So Tab's not exactly loving it so far. That's 2 invalid laps for him. I think Dino invalidated just before he got his lap started, mate, just as I was sort of staying in those final 2 corners. So
yeah, I'd agree with you there, mate. I think M Stone might be the only man on a valid lap at the minute.
What about Milligains? Oh, he's invalid. Boss Goan, mate. The boss man. Let's see what he can do tonight. First time appearing here in the OSRL. So welcome to you, my friend. Hope you go well as TGS. Both on your debut performances. And we'll watch this lap with the Mercedes, mate. His teammate currently up in 3rd, but only 6 laps set, even though we are about 6 minutes into the session.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of action here very, very early. One of these tracks that is rather new to the game, mate, so it's one of these guys one of these tracks that probably some of these guys haven't had a whole lot of practice on. Yeah,
definitely. It's been in the game for about a month now, mate. So it's not like it was added last week, but yeah, it's not a track that drivers have really got any experience from past titles on, because obviously it's new to the F1. Well, it's not new because we have quite a lot of history racing here at the Imola circuit. On that tragic weekend back in 1994, mate, where we lost 2 drivers. But it's back in modern day F1, and I think it's going to be here for the long haul, mate. They've really expressed their interest to keep a long-term contract of the Enzo Di Ferrari circuit. And Milligains, mate, he's into the 14s already. It's a
Yes,
very good
it
lap.
is. It's a very, very good lap time. Of course, he's done the extra lap on those as well, so far from the best tyre life left in those soft content tyres.
Yeah, that's right. I think Donny just entering the pit lane. You've got to be careful here, mate. It's quite an early pit line. I think it caught a few of the Tier 3 drivers out last night. We had a couple of them speeding into the pit lanes. Dino, he's invalidated another run, mate. So let's go back to Tab, mate. A man who he's invalidated a couple runs, and he's coming through Aqua Minerale, which the literal translation...
That was a Red Bull facing the wrong way. Roscoe's
whoa,
taken Tab down.
No, that was Tab just doing it on his own, mate. He got just as you come through the apex there at Aqua Minerale on the exit, the car you're coming downhill into it, and then at the apex it starts going uphill. So the rear end gets very light, and it's easy just to apply a little bit too much throttle and spin that rear end. So he might have been distracted by that Red Bull that was off, but it was not on Roscoe. It was just unfortunately another mistake from Tab, and I think it's time for some new tyres for him. They aren't working for him.
No, I definitely agree, especially with that spin. He'll definitely not be happy about having to spend an extra set of tyres, but he's actually going again on the same set. So
he's got a valid lap time release on the board as Kraken goes to a 14.750. So a couple of drivers now into the 14s as more and more drivers are finally beginning to set some lap times. Suicide 5, he's just started a run as he's just going past the Kraken there, who's just waiting sensibly before turn 1. It's a bit of an awkward track to let cars pass if you're not paying attention to that mini-map of yours.
Yeah, exactly right. You've hit the nail on the head there, as I'm seeing Kraken has run out of fuel, mate. So he will be going slowly around the remainder of this circuit. With about 7 minutes to go, mate, there are still a ton of drivers out there that have not set a valid lap time.
Yeah, mate, a few of them struggling with it. We got 6.5 minutes to go. Back on board with Tab for it feels like the 700,000th time in this session so far, as he's going to try and complete another lap. You can see how much dirt that car's got on it. He's been off a couple times. The mechanics have to give that a wipe down. He's just invalidated again, mate. So I think it's time for him to put a new set of tyres on, and yep, he's going to the pit lane. So Tab is not enjoying things at all here so far. As we've got a couple cars coming towards the line now. We've got Suicide 5, he goes up to P9, and Roscoe demotes him back down a place because he goes up to P8 on a 15.9 for the Red Bull.
Yeah, good lap there from him. Flicking a little bit further back on board with 2.5 or Nat Hammer. Who's further around the circuit?
Nat Hammer. He just finished his lap.
In the 2.5 on a flying lap here, mate.
Yes, he is. So we picked him up, mate. Coming into the third sector now. And you think on paper that sector 3, it's a chicane and 2 corners. It can't be that hard, but arguably it's the hardest sector on the circuit to extract the most lap time from. That in sector 2. Sector 1, the whole thing's very technical. You've got to hit your apexes, carry the right amount of speed, or you're going to go into these gravel traps, which, there is a lot of runoff here, but it's also easy to end up in certain walls, as we saw for a couple of drivers last night, especially out of Aqua Minerale. That's probably the best place to find yourself in the wall. So let's jump on board with your man, Dino420 fan Moose.
I am already on board with him. He's
alrighty, mate.
Very, very racy indeed here, mate.
Yeah, got it out of Aqua Minerale there very nicely, mate. Just a bit of patience with the throttle is key through there. And as the track rubbers up, it grips up, you'll be able to just to put that foot down a little bit harder each lap around in the session. So here he comes down to the final 2 corners. You would expect to see Dino420 fam, who's currently second in the championship in Q3, mate.
Yeah.
He's got that a bit wrong.
Oh, he's got that very wrong, hasn't he?
He kept the speed up. It didn't look great, but there you go.
Probably
P5
going to be enough to get him through, to be fair.
Yeah, I think the rest of the lap was pretty good as absolute. Just slots in behind his teammate there in P3. What about Fury? He's just in sector 1 as his teammate's starting a flying lap. So next along will be It's an Aston Martin of tabbed on the outlap. So Suicide 5, he's not improving. So maybe it's Stoney. It is Stoney. And he is even with his time to Sector 2. So if he's going to find time, it's going to be in this final part of the lap. We haven't got a weather forecast either tonight so far, mate. So will we receive one from a driver? Or are we just going to be left hanging, Moose? Will it be any sort of weather intervention tonight in the race, maybe? Maybe not. As Fury goes up into P6 there for Alfa Romeo. Good little lap time from him. Dino's just pulling into the pits. I think Absolute's going to do the same.
Certainly is.
Or maybe he's going for another
struggling out there on his very old soft compound tyres.
He's just I think he's just come out on a new set, so we'll monitor his progress. Here's Kyotonic, the last man in the session not to have a lap time. That's about to change as he goes up to P13 there. So just ahead of the drivers occupying the drop zone not by much. Brad Tay is coming through the final sector, but he's invalidated, unfortunately. We saw this last night, mate. Just lots of invalid laps in qualifying. Yeah. Can Tabbed hold on to it in this final sector where he lost it just before? He goes right up to that line, but keeps it in. Ooh. And on the exit, he's kept it valid, so he's going to get he's going to get a lap time on the board, and it's only enough for P17. That is not the kind of form we are usually seeing from this man. He's usually up there, well up inside the top 5.
Exactly right, mate. And that'll probably come down to that tyre wear that he's got. He's now on 6-lap old soft compound tyres, so they will be absolutely screaming, mate.
Yeah, they will, mate. So Stoney is just starting another final flying lap. We've got 1 minute 48 seconds to 48 sessions seconds to go, mate. We'll pick up Dottie here, mate, as he's just marginally up on his time at the moment, but to get out of session, he's going to need at least over half a second to climb over Brad Tay, mate, who's currently on a 15.8. Donnie down there on a 16.5.
Yes, he is. So with a handful of let's call it seconds. There's only just over a minute left. Your bottom 5 look like this: Flourish Expire, Tabbed F1, Nat Hammer, who desperately needs to improve, the Stig, and OSRL Donny. Mate, there's a couple of really big names in there that it could very much go down the gurgler for.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Tab gets himself out of the drop zone, only up to 13th though, and he's stopped. So that's his final flying lap done and dusted. Where he's going to sit at maximum. Flourish can't get himself out.
Another invite.
Yeah, mate.
No, I'll do it. You stay there. Yeah. I'll tell you what, mate. You'll actually have to get Absolute a invite because I don't have him.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Absolute and I are not friends.
Do you want to just... Kytonic's invalid, Flourish Expire, he's invalid. Next Califer rank is... not Kytonic.
Stig's the only one on a lap.
Yeah, Stig's the only one on the lap, so maybe I can get him an invite before Stig comes towards the light. I'll try it as quickly as I can. These little fingers.
Stig with a little bit of oversteer just there through the start of that third sector. And he's not really improving his Stig, so he's got a couple of corners left here, and he's not lighting up those timing screens in the way he would want to. In fact, he's very much... he has improved, but only to P17.
Look how close that is, man. Yeah. For Kyotonic and Tabbed, and Nick Magoo as well. less than a tenth between it, so Tab just scrapes through this part of qualifying.
Check your inbox, dude. The five drivers we will lose are OSRL Donny, Flourish Expire, Brad Tay, The Stig, and Kyotonic, mate. Go for it.
Yeah, that's right. So, we are just awaiting Nick Magoo to finish off his lap, I suppose. So, can he get himself out of the session? Well, he's going to get himself out of the session regardless because he's safe. And does he improve? Yes, he does. Goes up to P10. So good lap there from the man in that McLaren. So there you go. That's Q1 done and dusted. Donny, Flourish, Brad Tay, The Stig, and Kyotonic are the five drivers we're going to be losing, and no one's crashed. So unlucky for you who said they were.
Just seen Absolute in the chat saying that the lobby may have glitched, mate. So I'm not sure if any of the drivers can confirm that.
It's a new glitch, mate. So basically, if you leave the session, unfortunately, and you rejoin, it basically gives you back the full part of that qualifying's time. So I'm just messaging Brad Tay to get him to retire because he's the one driver. He lagged out and joined back, and he was going to have more time on his clock. It's Cody's. Every time you get a patch, mate, something else has been broken.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the lobby glitch. It's just unfortunately a new glitch. Saying so if you leave during qualifying or you lag out and you rejoin the set, you basically get refunded all of that time in the qualifying that you had already completed. Which is why we're kind of stuck at the 1 second mark because. We need Nick Magoo and Brad Tay to retire. So Brad Tay's just retired then, and Nick Magoo will do it shortly, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
So should be all good. So hopefully this sorts itself out. Yes, Cody's are doing their thing. But Shy, while we've got a minute, mate, we can explain how the tiers work. So basically... at the start of the season, there's 10 captains, so each construct has a captain. I'm personally the captain of the Alpine team, and there's a draft order based on the finishing order of those 10 drivers in the standings from the previous season. So it was Bozza, who is the Mercedes captain. He had the first pick for each of the tiers and also the 20th pick, and it sort of goes reverse order. So first person has pick 1 and 20, and the next has pick 2 and 19, pick 3 and pick 18. You get the gist of it. And then all the drivers that of the pace of one tier in a pool, you get to pick who, and then obviously you do the next tier and the next tier. So we have 3 tiers this season, and there's probably going to be a 4th tier next season. So 80 full-time seats, which will be decided in a draft during the off-season, and that is at the end of January next year. So new season will be starting up mid to late February, season 3 of the OSRL Moosey.
Yeah, absolutely pumped for season 3, because hopefully I'll be a full-time driver again.
That's it, mate. That is it. Full-time comms and full-time driving. It's a lot in a week, honestly, mate.
It's a
3 weeks of my night. Mate, I was 3 nights sitting in this chair, same time, same place, because guess what? It's the same circuit for all 3 tiers.
Well, that's probably why you've won the last couple of races in Tier 1 there, mate. You've got your eye in early.
You're not wrong, mate. And there we go. Nick Magoo's finally got the message to retire. So away.
I was just about getting ready to get my pillow out and a little bit of blankie and just settle in for the night, watching him go around.
Well, there you go. So we finally get through to the end of the session. It was Kraken on top, mate, ahead of Absolute and Milligains. So the sort of usual suspects up there. 2-5 as well. Boss Gohan, mate, on his first appearance. He's looking quick. So is TJS F1. So I reckon it's going to be pretty interesting to see who can come through the top 15, separated by 1 second and 1.004 seconds, mate. So it is very close, very competitive here. You've got to be on the pace early. So let's see what kind of strategy comes into play here in Q2. That medium tie is a great tie to start on. We saw the alternate strategies last night. They looked bloody quick. Either if you go medium hard or medium soft, both are viable strategies here. You have to suffer a little bit on the medium towards the end of the stint, but that's soft when everyone else is on worn tyres already at the end. You're going to fly around the 4.9 kilometre track here.
Mate, you've absolutely hit the nail on the head there, because it was exactly the same in real life Formula One when we ended up here in all the glitz, glamour, and absolute chaos when we came here for real life Formula One. It is definitely a very, very fast tyre towards the end. Yeah.
There are a lot of medium speed corners on this circuit, Moosies, at the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari, mate. It's a bit of a mouthful to say.
It's Imola.
It's Imola. Obviously, this track is owned by Ferrari, so they do quite a bit of testing here. Or they did back in the day when F1 testing was actually allowed during the season, and it was combined with the Maranello circuit. But for their other sort of sports cars, they're always here testing. But here we go. Is
this the track that backs onto the Ferrari factory?
No, that's Maranello, but that's only, I think, about 60 kilometres away, so it's not far down the road.
Oh, just a hop, skip, and a jump.
And AlphaTauri and Ferrari, they're only about 13 kilometres apart, the two bases, mate, in this sort of section of Italy, mate. So it's like home for them, mate. They can go home and sleep in their own beds at night. How good's that?
Yeah, it's great. I'm not sure that virtual people in the game can do that, but yeah. And Tabbed is the man out front, but he's definitely being pushed along by Nathammer as Nathammer goes past. No, he doesn't. So Nathammer probably looking for a big toe down that main straight, mate.
Well, Nathammer's on that soft tyre, mate. Well, it's going to be interesting to see if he's either doing a delta lap, which we do see quite often as Kraken just spamming intermediate and wet tyres on the screen. It's catching my attention. He just loves a bit of the attention, mate, on the stream. He loves being mentioned bloody og day. But here we go. Tubbs going to set definitely a competitive lap time on this medium. He struggled in that first part of qualifying, and someone spun on the outlap. Yeah, absolute spun on the outlap, mate, just at the final corner. So we'll flick back to Tab now. This is coming around turn 4 now.
That he is, and he's looking very, very quick. He did a lot of laps, and he's invalidated already as he moves very quickly off the racing line. So we'll pick up the Nat Hammer as he will now be the front man on the track. As I mentioned, mate, Tab did a huge amount of laps in that Q1 session on soft compare tyres.
I'm going to try and find someone who's not on a delta lap, because although it's interesting, it's not exactly the best to watch. Fury, he's got the DRS turned on, so maybe he's doing a lap. So we're right on board with the Alfa Romeo driver. P4 now in the standings is Fury, so he's dropped down a couple places in the last week's race. But just coming out of the Alta, and obviously purple sector 2, because he's the only one pushing. He's got that ERS turned on.
Yeah, that he does. Will he back off right at the last second?
I think he will, mate, because he's just turned it off. Yep, he's backed it off. And we're going to see him stop here at the line. Standard stuff. The timing line's just there, mate, so little bit different to different series, but just there. And TJS now is going to set it. Well, that's a valid lap time, a representative lap time, a 1:15.3 from TJS.
Yeah, it's a very, very nice lap time indeed there from TJS. On reserve here tonight for Blue Dog in the Ferrari.
Let's go on board with Roscoe Arm, mate. We haven't given him any attention so far tonight. He just sort of slipped through the cracks in Q1. So we'll flick and pan our cameras on the Red Bull as he's coming towards the end of Sector 1, this high-speed chicane. And it's pretty bonkers to think it's fifth gear through the slowest part of that chicane, and he's just run pretty wide there into the gravel trap there on the exit. That's not going to do any favours for his lap time.
No, not at all. He is appearing to still push fairly hard though. So maybe he's just going to try and get a lap time of some sort on the board, because we did see through Q1 how many drivers invalidated. So it is very important to have a valid lap time on the board.
Yeah, just have a little banker, just a little bit of security, mate, because at least you're not having to try and set your final or your first flying lap right at the end of the session. It's just nice to slowly be able to build up the lap time. It just sort of eases the pressure off the shoulders, and the world feels a little bit less heavy, mate, when you've got that delta or that banker lap time, whatever you want to call it.
So he will
Roscoe
come across
Arm.
the line.
I'll see what it is. He was in the gravel. It's a 16.7, and I'm going to say it now, mate. That's not enough, even on that medium. And no real surprise thing is he was in the gravel, and that's confirmed by Tab, mate. Goes a second faster on that medium, and that's definitely a more competitive benchmark to be chasing.
Yeah, too right, mate.
Who else is out there on a lap time? Dino? Dino's just kicking off a lap. So has Darkness Abyss. We'll flick to him, mate, in the Alpine. So coming around Tozer now, mate. I don't know if you remember, but this is where Juan Pablo Montoya and Michael Schumacher had that bit of an infamous moment where Juan Pablo Montoya got significantly alongside and ahead, and Schumacher basically just drove him off the road and said he didn't see him, and Montoya was like, "You've got to either be stupid or blind to not have seen me." It was pretty funny.
Well, he's German. I can't tell that joke with a straight face.
I've got nothing, mate. No comment.
Left you a bit stunned, did it?
I'm not going to entertain that. Who's next, mate? Next cab off the rank. M Stone. M Stone? Yeah, M Stone. He didn't look quite as pacey as he's been in recent weeks in Q1, but maybe it's just a nice little safe lap time, get himself out of the session.
Ooh, crikey.
You never really know
Hang on a minute.
until they are fully. You never really know until they're fully centered.
So in an interesting turn of events, I think I just blew up my phone.
Have you blown up your phone?
It was like it's red hot. We're talking like.
Oh, like when the screen's like boiling hot?
Yeah.
How'd you?
And it's like,
what have you done to it?
It's all just gone like, the whole screen's cut out. Oh no.
My recommendation, it's not a good recommendation, but put it in the fridge, mate, for 5 minutes and cool it down.
I don't know about that.
Don't take that advice seriously, but get it to someplace cooler.
Freezer.
I think that's worse than the fridge, mate.
No, because it's a quick chill.
Oh, yeah, true. Just dunk it in some ice, mate. She'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
What could go wrong?
Yeah. I need my phone. Oh, dear.
She'll be right, mate. She'll be right.
That's quite a technical issue.
Alrighty, who's next along? It is Championship Leader, mate.
It certainly is.
The man on top himself. The man on top down under.
He's only got a couple of corners left to negotiate here, and he does it with plenty of room to spare. Opens up that DRS letterbox rear wing and only goes to 8th fastest with an 18.8, mate. So I'm not sure if he's had an issue throughout that lap.
Yeah, well, that's pretty evident that there has been an issue because he should be much higher up M-Stone. He's currently in 3rd, and I think he's just starting a 2nd lap on the medium after charging it up. So he will go again now. He doesn't even feel safe with a 15.9 as Boss Gohan goes P1 on the soft compound, mate, 15.3. And 2.5's coming. No, it's not. It's not 2.5. It's VSR Roscoe coming across the line. He does a 15.7 on those mediums. He's done 4 laps on them, mate. You don't really want to be doing that on your starting tyre, if I'm honest. Suicide 5 gets to P3. He's on that soft compound. He did it last week in Singapore, which I don't know if that was the wisest decision, but it's not bad around here. You can make the softs work at the start. And Milligains, he's invalidated another one, Moose. So he's going to have to go again. It's just not what you want to be doing. It's clear that they want these mediums to start on, but multiple invalidations is just going to put more and more wear on them. To start off, 2.5's done it again as well. So he's invalidated. Stone is coming into the pit lane. And I think the Haas boys might be setting up a little tow here for Nat Hammer. Yes, they are. So Kraken is going to let Nat Hammer pass here, I suspect. Down into the Tamburello chicane. Moves to the left-hand side. Lets him past. They're working well, the Haas boys, together recently.
Yeah, that they have been, and the whole Haas team as represented in those constructor standings, mate. So they're well out on top, and they appear to have the number of all the other 10 teams.
And that's why they're leading the Constructors' Championship, mate. Because they are working the best as a cohesive unit. So Milligains, can he finally set a lap time? That's the question of the hour. Or the question of the session. So it comes through the final corner, Ravazza, and he opens up the DRS, comes across the line, and only manages 7th, mate. But it is 3rd of the medium runners, but he's behind his teammate and VSR Roscoe, so not ideal. And can 2.5 knock him off here in the other Red Bull? He does. Slots him just behind his teammate Roscoe. Nat Hammer with that toe, where's he going to go? Only 11th, despite the toe.
Yeah, the medium tyre it's really not warming up. It looks like I'm not sure what the issue is there, but everyone seems to be struggling a little bit on it.
The soft tyre is pretty OP here, mate. So it does offer a whole lot more grip than that medium. So you've got to do a very good lap time if you're going to get through on the medium. So I suspect we're going to see quite a few drivers out in the final 3 minutes here on that soft, but they haven't got much time to, let's say, dick around with it. They've got to get on with it. So most of them are just on the in-laps at the moment, mate. Is Milligains pushing? No, he's not pushing. So he's only in 8th, mate, and he's going to be cutting it relatively close. Get another lap time on the board. He's setting off another lap, but he's got no fuel, mate. I don't know what he's thinking. Strange.
Yeah, definitely.
Strange times here. And there you go. He's run out of fuel. I don't know if he just hasn't realised. He's run out of fuel. I just don't think he's realised he had no fuel.
He'd be in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, here comes Kraken, mate, and he's going to displace him, I suspect. Kraken goes fastest, mate, on the medium tyre. He's just been rapid these last 3 or 4 weeks.
It's definitely looking good for him out there at the moment. Milligain's really in a world of hurt as he's coming back to the pits super slowly.
He won't
be
making it.
He'll be out.
He should be out because there's people who are going to do times in that soft compound tyre. And the first of them is going to be Nick Magoo, mate. And currently out there coming through the outer. And you see it. A lot of drivers, they've put on that soft compound tyre. They want to get through to Q3 more than that medium tyre. So what can they do? Can Nick Magoo do it? He's just got a little bit slidey there through Ravazza, and it's going to compromise his exit. And he comes across the line, and he has a 1:15.5, lifts him up to P5, mate. And he's backed it off, so that's his final flying lap of the session done and dusted.
Yeah.
M Stone, he's just going to start up another final flying lap here. He's staying with the mediums. Who else is out there? Mr. Fury Strat, he's going to be coming around the final sector now to kick off a lap. That's going to be on the soft compound. Nat Hammer, he's in the pit lane. He can't do anything about it. He is going to be out of this session. Dino 420 fam. He's out there on a lap. He's on the mediums, mate. So he's left it right to the end to do it on the mediums. But the track will be at its best.
Yeah, exactly right. He'll have to
off.
be very careful of that invalidation as well. He has
backed off. He's got time.
He'll get a lap in here.
Yeah, he's got time. Boss Gohan goes fastest. He's on that soft compound. Darkness Abyss coming around Ravazza now. And this will be his one shot to get into the third part of qualifying on that soft compound. And does he make it? He goes up to 7th for now, mate. So will that be enough?
Nat Hammer's a huge casualty here.
Yeah. Well,
and Dino's out as well, mate, because he's invalidated.
Yes, Dino's out too.
3 huge casualties here in Q3.
M Stone too. M Stone's out as well.
Well, you can even throw Fury Strat in there.
Well, he's on a lap at the moment, or is he invalidated?
No, he's on a lap.
He's on a lap. So he has the chance to make it. Tabbed is currently in, and he's out there improving. So who's going to make it? Who's going to be that final person to lose out? Will it be Fury? Will it be Tabbed? Or will it be 2-5? It's going to be one of the three. We'll find out shortly. Tabbed coming around the final corner now. And he's kept the lap valid, and he should improve, because that was on mediums, this is on softs, and he does improve. He goes second, mate. Fury Strat, he should make it as well. He does, he goes fourth. So 2-5 is eliminated from the session, along with championship leader Milligains, M Stone, Nat Hammer, and Dino 420 fan.
Yeah, huge casualties.
What's 5? That is a big 5 drivers to be losing in this session. Big 5 drivers to be losing. Wow. A bit shocked at that, if I'm honest. That isn't the result I was expecting. So, Darkness, he's just finished off the lap, and I think we're just waiting on 2 more to get wheeled into the garage before we finish the session. So there you go. Venti, there's a new glitch in the game. If you leave the session and rejoin, you get all of your time added back on. So if you leave with 6 minutes left in qualifying 1, guess what? You've got another 18 minutes. It's a great glitch. So, Moosey, only 3 people made it on that medium. It was Kraken, Absolute, and Roscoe Arm. So good to see Roscoe Arm back on some sign of form. He's had a rough run of it lately.
Yeah, he certainly has. But it's a huge bottom 5 drivers that we've just lost there. Like, you almost can't put into words just how big that bottom 5 is there.
No, you can't. You really can't. So, I'm just going to have a little squiz here, mate, at my little cheat sheet. Mm-hmm. Milligains, championship leader. M Stone, 7th in the championship. Nat Hammer, 6th in the championship. Dino 420 fam, 2nd in the championship.
Huge.
2-5, 16th in the championship, but you've got to remember, he hasn't been a full-time driver for long. He's only had 4 weeks of full-time seatage. And in that time, he's at a podium and 2 4th-place finishes. So he's no slouch either, mate. Big losses here, but that just means there's opportunities for others. It's going to be a spicy race with drivers out of position, quotation marks.
Not wrong at all.
Yeah, with drivers out of position, if you want to say, there's going to be people making lots of moves during this race. So I'm looking forward to it. But we've got one part of qualifying to go, and it is the shootout for pole, if you want to call it. The top 10, the final 12 minutes. Who is going to claim pole position? Try to get a prediction going.
I think so. Kraken versus the field.
Do you want to give Kraken and one other just to incentivise it, or are we just going to give Kraken?
Kraken and Tabbed versus the field.
Alrighty, Kraken and Tab versus the field it will be, mate. So I'm just going to whack that up. As I don't reckon we're going to see anyone out for maybe a minute, mate, because it is a short lap here, only a minute 14.
Mm.
Who will take pole? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Kraken or Tabbed? The other 8. We'll give him 2 minutes. Slap that, bing bang bong, spend your points. I reckon a few viewers are getting close to that free sub mark at 100k points, mate. If they gamble and if they can gamble properly, gamble responsibly, everyone. This is only a virtual currency, but gamble it responsibly. It's going to be interesting to see who takes it, because going off of that session, I'd be tipping Kraken, but it's all in how easy it is to invalidate right at the end when you really need that lap time.
Exactly right.
So it's all about peak speed, but peak speed with a little bit of measured approach. And it's really in this session that you need a good banker. You don't want to be just feathering it around the lap, because the lap time really won't mean anything, mate, because it'll be a second off the pace. But if you go that little bit too hard and step over the white line, it is the white line here, Moose, everywhere. It's very strict, unlike other tracks where you can take a few liberties. You've got to be careful, and you've got to be precise. So we've got one Mercedes, 2 Alpines, an Alfa Romeo, an Aston Martin, a Ferrari, a McLaren, an Alpha Tauri, a Red Bull, and a Haas. So Alpine, the only constructor with 2 cars in, and the ones that miss out, it is... God, who is it? It's Williams. Williams is the constructor without a car in Q3.
Williamo.
Do it for Claire, do it for Frank. Come on, lads. Fire up. Zing on.
Yeah.
And Darkness Abyss has given it the full zing here through the first sector.
Well, let's be fair, Frank's not going to walk into the factory anytime soon.
That is a dirty little comment, mate. Oh no.
No.
He might, mate, you never know when he could roll up. You never know.
Just driving down the freeway, old Frankie's got Limp Bizkit rolling going. I feel like we're both going to hell.
We've predicted the poll. Who will be on pole? What time do we reckon it's going to be, mate? I'm going to say Kraken is going to do a 14.3 for pole. It's pretty bold, but he could do it. TJS comes across the line, and he has invalidated that one. No, he hasn't. It's a 14.9. Just took a second to come up for me. Next cab off the rank is Mr. Fury Strat, who he's good in race pace, but he struggles in qualifying a little bit, and that is his kryptonite. He just unfortunately can't qualify with the same pace as some of these other lads. It is important, mate. Being on the front row or 2 does help you stay away from a bit of the carnage, as Tabbed is just invalidated at the final corner, mate. It would have been a 14.7, which would have put him 1/1000th ahead of Absolute. But guess what? He invalidated, so it doesn't matter. Roscoe, he only manages 5th this time around. Suicide 5 comes around Ravat full time, and is 1:15.6. Kraken invalidated it as well, mate. So speed, but at what cost? That's tough, Chef. Thanks for the tier 1 sub, brother. Appreciate it. It was a bit of a tough race for you last night, mate, but bounce back, mate. Have another one. Have another strong race when you next appear for us. And Nox Exil, thank you for the follow. I probably just butchered that name, Moose. But that's what I do best. So I think we're going to have that, that's to say Knox. Knox, alright brother. I'll remember for next time, mate. I've got that sort of memory. I just, bit of guidance with the first attempt at it, the first jab at it. It's kind of like how you watch a East driver do a hot lap. Before you start doing your practice, you figure out all the lines as Roscoe, mate. And that Red Bull on his second lap on those softs goes up to P2. So well done from Roscoe there. Proving that you can find time on a second lap. Suicide 5 is doing the same. He goes up to fourth, mate. Finds half a second out of those soft compound tyres. Tab, he's coming into the pit lane. He wasn't improving. How about Kraken? He was our tipped pole position winner. And coming into the pit lane as well. So they're going to have it to do. Boss Gohan, he's coming out in the gap, mate. So he's going to be running in the middle of the session. Maybe he might... I think he's only got that one set of fresh soft compound tyres. So he's going to be using it now while the track is nice and free. He's only out there with two other drivers who are going to be doing some in-lappage. So no ministry from them. Should be all good, all clear for him as he comes down towards the Tamburello chicane. And just clobbers those sausage curbs. Just gently, just finesses the car through there. And he's got to do the same down here at the Villeneuve. There you go, just getting up on that green, white and red, and he's invalidated it there. So unfortunate for him, he's finessed a little bit too much of that green, white and red curb moose.
He certainly has, mate. As we've got three drivers out there without a valid lap time at the moment. Looking to absolutely destroy that prediction that we've got up. I'm never ever going to apologise for that pun.
Well, Bosco Ann's having a little bit of an adventure down there at Aqua Minerale.
He certainly is.
Kicking up a little bit of the dirt.
Just a little bit of mud.
He's in the mud, mate. I got him.
Yes. Mate, I'll give you the tip. I feel absolutely horrible after my kebab.
Something in that kebab, mate. Maybe it was the garlic sauce.
Oh, you can never have too much of a good thing.
What kebab did you get? Lamb, chicken, or mixed, mate?
I actually got a mixed HSP.
Mix it what? That doesn't really sound like a kebab to me, mate, but it does sound bloody good.
Yeah, it's the same. It's just missing
was
a
it
bit of bread.
The old garlic and sweet chili sauce?
Garlic barbecue and sweet chili.
Yeah, the old holy trinity, mate.
Yeah.
So here we go. We've got a couple more back out, mate. TJS and Nick Magoo, they're coming out for what is probably going to be their final flying laps in the session. They've come out early. They've probably filled it up with enough for 2 laps, just in case they invalidate it. Easy to do around here, as we've seen plenty of times tonight. And yes, Boz, you're liking that? I like it. It's a little bit of a cheeky surprise.
What's that?
It's I've got a little bit of a new addition to the instant replay graphic.
Oh, I didn't see it.
I can play it again, mate. I'll play it again when we get a bit of action.
Do you know what? A car's gone around the corner just there. I needed a replay of it.
Alrighty, there you go, mate. I'll put it up.
Oh, hello! What is that?
It's pretty hot, isn't it? It's pretty hot.
Wowee.
It's high production quality here at the OSRL, mate. And we'll stick it on board with Nick Magoo. And we've got a hashtag Ask Deezy, mate, in the chat. Hashtag Ask Deezy, hashtag Ask Moose. Get your questions in. Best drunk food to get on a night out. Well, that really depends on the mood. Yeah. I do love a bit of the Colonel, the old Zinger box, mate. But the only problem is KFC isn't open until late unless you're at one place in Melbourne, and that is Crown Casino. And at that point in the night, you've already lost enough money that you don't really care how much that wonderful box with the burger, the wicked wings, and a little bit of those fries, along with a nice can of Pepsi Max Kiosia. I'll hand it over.
Hang on, did you say can? Do you not upsize?
I just go for the regular Zinger box and upsize the chips, mate.
Oh no!
Because I get a bottle of water so I can sober up in the Uber on the way home.
Let the wicked wings do their work.
The wicked wings, mate. They take full effect, mate. I need a bottle of water to cure myself from them. P6, mate, for Nick Magoo. what TJS got. Currently a tenth and a half up to the middle sector. Can he find any more time here at the end? No, he does. He finds another tenth. Only good enough for second, mate. But still, good performance here on debut for him. And now we're going to see lap starting from the rest of the field. Is Nick Magoo going to push again? No, he's not, because he's got time to do an in lap and a cool down lap and go again. I think TJS is going to do the same, mate. So those two are going to have two stabs at pole position here, and we're going to kick things back off with Boss Gohan. Final flying lap for him.
Absolutely.
But going back to the drunk food, HSP does hit pretty hard.
It does.
The only problem
it's
is
very
if you're
heavy though.
It is very heavy, and if you've had a whole lot, if you're quite intoxicated, it might go down a treat, but it also might come back out a treat, if you know what I'm saying. And when you combine that with a bit of garlic, sweet chili, and barbecue sauces, it's not a pretty picture on the side of Chapel Street at 4 a.m, mate, outside of Revs. Honestly, anything fried and a bit fatty, it does the trick.
Pizza does it. Like, pizza is such an all-rounder.
Pizza is an all-rounder. I'm more about pizza before you go out. Sort of a bit of, a couple of slices of pizzas at Prees. As Boss Gohan goes, or the time hasn't come up for me.
No, it doesn't come up for me either.
We saw this last night, so strange. We'll flick back to Fury, mate, and he does a 14.9 for him. So fourth place for him. VSR Roscoe sets off on a flying lap, or is he finishing one? Can't really tell because of this timing glitch. Suicide as well. What about Kraken?
It's a pretty decent glitch.
I think the whole timing's just gone to shit, mate. So we're right on board with Kraken, mate. And he spun in the final corner. He's out.
Who?
Tabbed F1. So we hit 000 and Tabbed is out of the session. Boss Gohan, his lap time has finally come in, mate. It's good enough for P3 for the Mercedes man, a 14.7. Fury, he went up there to 5th. VSR Roscoe went to 4th. Suicide 5. He's currently down there in 6th. Darkness Abyss was coming out of the final quarter and lagged out of the session, mate. So unfortunately that ruined his lap.
Oh, Kraken's out as well. Kraken's invalidated. Oh,
Kraken has invalidated it, mate.
My points.
Your points are gone, mate. Your points are gone. So, Fury Strat, can he get pole position? He goes second, mate. What about Roscoe Arm? He goes... he takes pole position away! He takes pole away. Suicide isn't improving. And Kraken's session is over, mate. So, VSR Roscoe Arm out of nowhere takes pole position. Right in the death. Well done to VSR Roscoe Arm. He's going to be joined by the fellow Honda-powered car of Absolute 97 on the front row. And then Fury Strat gets himself into third place for the grid. But big shock, you say, mate, is Kraken there. He validated both his runs, and we said it. Peak speed, but at what cost?
Yeah, exactly right. There's both of the people that we had picked here for pole position have both not settled up.
Yeah, he does. So, intriguing times here, mate. Again, we were saying it. The importance of that banker time.
Yeah.
But yeah, well done to Roscoe, mate. That's, I think, his second pole position of the season after his one in Canada. I know he won there. I'm pretty sure he took pole there. Ahead of Absolute Fury, TJS, Boss Gohan. So the two reserves made up there in P4 and P5. Good lap times from them. Suicide 5 ahead of Nick Magoo. Darkness Abyss, who unfortunately had that final lap time deleted, per se, as he was deleted from the session. Tabbed F1 and Kraken. No lap times for them on the board. They were coming out of the last grid slots of the top 10.
Started well, that sentence.
It's, my mouth moves too quickly for my brain to keep up. It's a bit of a problem. I just get stumbled halfway through sentences.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Happens to me all the time.
I love it, mate. I absolutely love it. Intro time.
Fuck, there's no way we're going to be out of here by fucking 9:30. We're still going to be racing at 9:30. I can't hear you.
4.9 kilometre circuit, and here it is, the 3 sectors, the 19 corners, the sole DRS zone, top speeds of over 300 kilometres an hour, and it's 35 metres of elevation. And down at turn 1, it was the Tamburello chicane. Verstappen and Bottas. Verstappen around the outside makes the move with the DRS. We're going to see a little bit of that tonight, I suspect, Moosey. And then down at Toza, turn 7, Schumacher and Alonso back in 2005. Good overtaking from them. And then down at Piratella, Danny Kivat, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe just make sure that everyone's actually in the session for me, mate, and I'll run us through the grid while you do that. So off pole position there we have VSR Roscoe in the Red Bull. Number P2 we have Absolute. P3 Mr. Fury Strap. P4 for TJS F1. Not bad on reserve at all. Another reserve driver, Boss Gohan in P5 there. P6 goes to Suicide 5. P7 Nick Magoo. P8 for Darkness Abyss. P9 for Tabbed F1. P10 goes to the Kraken there. 11th is 2-5. 12th for Championship leader Milligains. 13th there for M Stone. 14th for Nat Hammer. P15 for Dino 420 Fam. P16 for Kyotonic. P17 for the Stig. P18 for Brad Tay. And the back row will consist of Flourish Expire and OSRL Donny, mate. So we are all set here for 32 laps of this Imola circuit. As just seen in the chat from Absolute, he can't get back in. I don't know if you've got him a invite yet, mate, but we are all over it. As mate, we've got a McLaren.
Yeah, Nick Magoo's finally. The lobby is. I don't know if it's going to require a restart because Nick Magoo's only just set off on the formation lap, and well, everyone else is finishing it. So
it should disqualify him, surely.
Yeah, it should have been disqualified. So I have zero idea what's going on here, mate.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure. Like, surely we're not going to get lights out. Darkness Abyss has a red X on him as well. So too does Absolute.
Absolute.
Just stand by with us. Whoa, wow! Who was
Boss
that?
Goran's car. That was Boss Goran's car, AI, whatever it was. I think this is going to be a restart because something is clearly wrong with the session, mate.
Yeah, because Boss Gohan...
I'm just going to call it. I have the power. So sorry about this, but this Cody's doing Cody's things.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to get a little capture of the old starting grid, so we have that, so we can set that for the custom grid.
Yeah, everyone is pretty much leaving the session now.
Yeah, so lobby restart. Everyone, just relax.
Red flag.
Everyone in the in the chat, in the thing. Yep, we're doing a lobby restart. So no worries. We'll throw up the red flag. I literally have a red flag there for these sort of these sort of incidents. So we'll get the lobby restarted shortly. So I'll just stick us back in there, and it'll be sorted, guys. It will be sorted. It shouldn't take too long. So I'm just going to leave the session to signify to everyone that it is going to be a red flag, and we'll have it restarted shortly. Shouldn't take. And someone was saying in the Discord, mate, can we restart Q3? I think that was Kraken, mate. Unfortunately, not, mate. Q3 will not be restarted.
Wishful thinking. Oh wow! So the all the AIs have just done their thing, and Kraken's been disqualified off the line for reversing off the grid. So I'll quit to main menu of that one.
Yeah, so we'll get back underway shortly, mate. So everyone just go and grab yourself a drink, whether it be a tea, a coffee, a soft drink, or maybe a little bit something alcoholic, mate. We'll get back underway shortly.
Do you want to play the intro for a bit while we sort this shit out?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Donnie, mate. So we've just had Donnie, our lobby coordinator, come in. So we'll sort things out shortly. We'll be back in a second, guys. Just stand by. We'll be back with you soon. All right, Donnie.
I didn't think I was hosting. But
I thought you were hosting earlier.
Yeah, I was, but I think Whitey was the
Yeah, I can't host because I did it last night and I lagged out and no one could get back into the session. So.
Yeah. Well, I've never had a problem, so it must be the track, eh?
I think it's just fucking the combination of the servers plus new Cody's glitches. You know what it is. But yeah, I've got the grid here.
Do I set it to dry because it was dry?
Yeah. It was it sunny or light cloud? I mean, it doesn't really matter. Just put light cloud on.
Right.
And then, the rest is the usual official start time, blah 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 blah.
Yep.
And I'll run you through the grid once
Right, lobby's good.
Once we've got everyone back in. It's a bit frustrating, but not much we can do.
It's a pain in the ass. Right.
Hope you've got everyone on an invite list because it could be a pain in the ass if you don't.
Oh, I did. Where's this photo? Is
Yeah, honey. Calm down. What's wrong?
Nah, it must be my game fucking out, eh?
Can you just not do it?
Oh, really?
Um.
Alright, hang on.
Is it not letting you invite? Did you restart your
yep.
your thing?
Nah,
I
just
just got an invite. Cool.
Yep. Nah, it wouldn't send the others though. We'll see.
I might see if Austin wants to help you guys. Wants to help you out, Daisy.
Yeah, do you want to flick him a message because he can jump in?
Alright, honey. Give me half an hour and... Yeah, I'm just getting one of the other comms boys to jump in and then I'll do it.
I can do it, mate. At least you can just flick off.
Alright, see you soon.
Nah, they said then. So we're good.
Austin said he's going to jump on, mate. I've just shot him a message. It's just... I told you what he'd done earlier, yeah? Yeah, he's just losing the plot a little bit. It will be. Thanks, mate.